So where are we now, Steve? Oh, doping control station. Ah, that's where the magic happens. Now, Steve, you're drinking something there. Don't you need to be careful what's in that? Yeah, I am. All elite athletes these days have to be on their guard about what they consume to make sure it's safe. So you know it's safe, right? Yeah, that's it. You get a lot of athletes who test positive from supplements. So if you've got a protein shake or something for recovery, you need to check it's come from a reliable supplier. We've got Susan here, who's an anti-doping expert. Susan, what's the deal with the supplements then?
Players need to be very careful when taking supplements. They aren't banned in rugby, but many have been found to be contaminated with banned drugs. Just because a label says it's safe doesn't mean that it is. You may not even need the supplement, but if you must take them, make sure you use a reputable supplier to reduce the risk. It's still the player's responsibility though.
So, safety first, good motto. You still want that, Steve? So, we're here now, live, giving a sample. What's the deal here, Steve? I'm peeing into a cup. The DCO is watching it come out. That's about the size of it. So they actually have to watch you pee. Tough one. So is it just a urine test? Is this the usual deal, Susan?
Yes, sometimes players are tested for blood, sometimes they're tested for urine, and some for both. Either way, you have to complete the sample. No excuses. It's a good idea to know what the procedures are though.
So what happens now is fill the cup?
This sample gets poured into two bottles, bottle A and bottle B. These are securely sealed and sent off to the lab for analysis. The player also needs to declare any medication they've been taking recently at this stage.
And what about blood? Are we talking needles?
Blood sampling is an increasingly common practice in doping control, and yes, it does mean that you have to deal with a needle. Usually it goes into your arm. After that, the sample sealing process is very similar to the one for urine.
What are you up to, Steve? I keep pictures of my meds on my phone. Makes it easier to remember what I've been taking. So what happens if Steve has something banned in a sample? Does he get suspended?
Usually yes. Sanctions can be as long as 4 years for a first offence. It doesn't matter how it got there. If it's in your body, you are responsible.
What he's banned, even if he doesn't know he's taken it? Rough, mate. So Steve, do you only get tested after matches? No, you can be tested anywhere. What, even at training? Yes, anywhere. What, even at home? Yes, Sean, that as well, anywhere. Wow, that must be tough to get used to. How do they know when you're at home?
High-level players need to provide their location information called whereabouts to organisations such as World Rugby or their national doping agency throughout the year. It needs to be accurate at all times, otherwise players can end up with a suspension for deliberately avoiding testing.
Yeah, I hate it, but it's a necessary evil, I guess. You need proper whereabouts to catch doping. So we all have to do it if the system is going to work. So we're back in the locker room with the boys now. Anything else about anti-doping that the guys at home need to know about? Medication. Steve, you're sure you're okay to take those? No, it's fine. I've got a TUE. Susan, help. What's one of those?
Many of the drugs banned in rugby are everyday medications. If you're ill or injured and you need a banned drug, you need to apply for an approval. It is called a therapeutic use exemption.
So how do you know what's banned? You check the list. Wow, that's a big list. You mean you have to memorise everything? No, Sean. There's apps you can check on your phone, or you can ask your doctor if you're not sure.
Steve's right. The prohibited list is complex. Players aren't supposed to know all the substances. They just need to know how to check when they take anything, and to make sure if they need a medicine that they get a TUE, a therapeutic use exemption.
So how do you pick your way through this lot?
As a basic rule, don't consider taking a banned drug unless it's prescribed by your doctor and there's no permitted alternative. And definitely don't take it before you have got a TUE approval.
What if you're dying? well, you're okay in a life-threatening emergency, but you still need to get a TUE afterwards. What about recreational drugs? I guess they're just bad for your health.
Well, yes, and they're also banned. Even social drugs can net you a 4-year suspension.
So there you have it, Steve. No doping, no recreational drugs, or no career. I mean, this is serious stuff, mate. Yes, mate, but it's part of my job. You can take time to do it right, or enjoy the 4 years time you get it if you get it wrong. So, no, that's it.